I'm Mike Hill, the founder of Total Control Health Plans, and today we're here to talk about ERISA and employers' fiduciary obligations under that law. Let's talk about what ERISA is. It stands for the Employee Retirement Income Security Act, and it's legislation that was passed by Congress to make sure that employers manage their employees' retirement plans and welfare benefit plans appropriately. A lot of employers don't realize that self-funded medical plans and welfare benefits as a whole, which could be medical, dental, or vision, are also governed by ERISA. And the same fiduciary obligations to manage those plans well exist in those plans as they do retirement plans. Although there have been examples in the past where employees have sued employers for the way they manage the health plans and the fact that they did not keep the costs under control, there was big news in the employee benefits industry a couple weeks ago where an employee proposed a class action lawsuit against Johnson & Johnson, and not just the company, but the benefits committee for breaching their fiduciary duties for not managing their health plan well. And they really focus on the pharmacy side of the health plan and the partnership Johnson & Johnson had with their pharmacy benefit manager and their employee benefit consultant. The argument goes that the pharmacy benefit manager and Johnson & Johnson did not manage the pharmacy plan well, resulting in employees paying thousands of % more for prescription drugs that they otherwise would have paid a lot less for had they paid cash walking into your local mom and pop pharmacy, for example. The employee in their argument against Johnson & Johnson and their benefit committee laid out numerous examples of where the inability of the benefits committee to manage their health plan well resulted in not only employees paying more out of pocket, but also the cost of the plan as a whole going up astronomically year over year, resulting in employees paying more premium out of their paychecks on a per pay period basis. Let's take a look at the arguments being made in the lawsuit. One of the primary complaints is that the pharmacy benefit manager was allowed to define generic specialty drugs however they saw fit, and any generic specialty drugs had to go to their particular specialty pharmacy, allowing them to control not only what was paid, but also what was charged for those particular drugs. It was thousands of % higher than they might pay if they went to a local pharmacy. So one example, maybe not a big deal, maybe two, not a big deal, but there were dozens that the legal team was able to outline in this particular case. For example, teriflunomide is a generic drug used to treat certain forms of multiple sclerosis. The average acquisition cost for pharmacies for this generic drug is 91 cents per 14 milligram tablet. So a 90-day supply would cost $81. This plan particularly paid, though, $10,239 for the same prescription, which is a 12,403% markup. This particular lawsuit hasn't been granted class action status yet. It needs to be ruled on to see if the case actually has merit. And it may be dismissed in this particular case, but for those of us that are watching, we think it's only a matter of time before some employer is made an example of. So what should employers do about this particular lawsuit? Ultimately, what we're trying to do right now is create awareness. We don't think any particular employers are going to be sued imminently, but we think it's really important to understand the provisions of the pharmacy benefit manager contract that you have and be aware of how the pharmacy market is changing dramatically. You should be looking at terms like generic drug or brand name drug and what the definitions are. So take a look at your contract, dust it off, make sure you understand what the definitions are and how it stacks up against an industry best practice.